Hello and welcome to the DELMIA Beauty and Personal Care Track. My name is Thomas Muth and I'll be your moderator. Okay, so our agenda for the Beauty and Personal Care Track it looks like this. First, you're going to hear from Patrick Merlat from Dassault Systems. He's our Home and Lifestyle, Consumer Packaged Goods, and Retail Solutions Vice President. And Patrick's going to give you an overview about some of the trends in the industry as well as our vision for beauty and personal care manufacturers. That is going to be followed up by Bruno Demange from Dassault Systems. He's the DELMIA Director of Strategic Planning. And he's going to give you an overview of a very innovative solution called DELMIA My Health at Work. This solution is focused really on operational safety and excellence in manufacturing. He's going to show how it can be applied in the beauty and personal care industry. That's going to be followed up by two case studies we're going to look at. One is with L'Occitane, and that is with Richard Vinardi from L'Occitane, Vice President of Operations. And he's going to discuss his project using DELMIA Priso in an overall business transformation in their manufacturing operations. That'll be followed up by Leandro Balena from Grupo Boticario, who is their industrial director. And he is going to also give you a look at how they have used DELMIA Priso in their initiatives in improving performance and standardization. Lastly, I'm going to be giving you a review, an overview of DELMIA solutions for beauty and personal care, and we'll follow up with a Q&A. So let's get started. So our first speaker is Patrick Merlat from Dassault Systems, Home and Lifestyle, Consumer Packaged Goods, Retail Solutions Vice President, and he's going to be giving us a look at the vision and trends in beauty and personal care. Patrick?
It is a pleasure for me to introduce the Beauty and Personal Care discussion track of the online DELMIA Operational World Tour 2020. Speaking about beauty and personal care as part of consumer industries at Dassault Systèmes, we must ensure we start by listening to the consumers. Please watch the video.
For a long time, launching a quality product at a fair price was enough to win in the marketplace. Huge brands have been built by delivering a strong consumer perceived value. But consumers today are different. It's not just that tastes and preferences have evolved. Now there's a massive fragmentation of beliefs and ideals.
I care about brands that care about the environment.
I only buy food that's gluten-free.
I love beauty products, and I really respect the opinions of this one blogger I read.
The product's packaging has to be recyclable.
When I shop,
I want to be entertained,
not bored.
And compounding all of this, new consumers are a moving target. Their preferences can change at the speed of social media. As consumers continue to evolve, the traditional innovation model is no longer sufficient. Product life cycles are getting shorter because of changing consumer dynamics, and companies that cannot accelerate their development and scale up cycles will be left out watching competitors who can deliver. Dassault Systèmes 3D Experience Innovation Platform is a game changer, delivering powerful brand experiences with the speed and agility that new consumers expect. No more repeating experiments or searching for product data when it's all stored digitally in one place. Silos between departments are broken down for seamless collaboration. Virtual simulation accurately predicts how the product will perform from manufacturing to consumer use. Regulatory compliance is managed centrally to deliver high-quality, sustainable products more efficiently. Merchandising strategies can be visualized from the eyes of the shopper. By accelerating development times, companies can get to market quickly and scale up faster with consumer-centric ideas that will win in the marketplace. The traditional innovation model is no longer sufficient for today's consumers, but an integrated business platform can deliver powerful brand experiences that will capture minds and hearts.
What are the new consumers in 2020? All of us, as consumers ourselves, are observers that the consumer behaviors have been increasingly changing in the last years and in the recent months. Some of the trends we have been observing in the last years are confirming, some are accelerating, some are slowing down, and some are appearing from the last months. The consumer is at the center, and this has significant implications in the manufacturing area. At least 3 major observations are driving beauty and personal care companies when improving their capacity to satisfy the consumer. Number 1, sustainability is at the top of the consumer expectations, and this is accelerating. Consumers buy products because they make sense to their way of living. They contribute to their health, their wellness, the planet, and the society. It is not about products. It is about my beauty, my personal care, my health, my consumption attitude to the future of the humanity. Number 2, home has become a priority environment for people, revealed by the current crisis, but also boosted by new technologies, connected devices, and personalized experiences. Number 3, e-commerce. Frictionless commerce is now a reality, accelerated in the last months, providing to consumers multi-options retail with a seamless delivery. The new consumer wants to buy directly from brands and pay attention to smaller brands, first generating requirements for manufacturing operations to become best in class, more agile, and highly reconfigurable. Dassault Systèmes purpose resonates precisely to those observations, providing business and people with 3D experience universe to imagine sustainable innovations capable to harmonizing product, nature, and life. Let us double-click on some of the major changes that are accelerating in beauty and personal care and their implications to the world of manufacturing operations. Beauty and high-tech are definitively converging. Example is that smart beauty devices are proliferating. Connecting brands and consumers through devices, we are reaching a limitless understanding of the consumer usages. These changes trigger major implications in the way brands must operate with the device manufacturers. In addition, the device could generate new dosage precision and variability to tackle at manufacturing stage. Beauty and lifestyles are also converging. Genomics begins to personalize skincare recommendations. Some companies specialized in genome-based beauty are emerging. Many global beauty and personal care companies have a healthcare division indeed. Even beauty and food are converging. I should even speak about nutrition. The line between cosmetics and food is thinning. This generates requirement to beauty companies to reconsider the way they operate to take into account more natural ingredients with different production conditions. All of these require the best-in-class manufacturing operation framework to tackle with these new and extreme variabilities. Let us zoom in the convergence with life science. It is all about personalization. Personalization in beauty is definitively accelerating thanks to the democratization of skin analysis. The consumer can very easily make his own skin test at home. Based on their skin health profile combined with lifestyle interests, the consumer can be proposed personalized beauty products with the perfect fit to their health profile of their skin. Personalization in beauty requires, again, best-in-class operation to tackle with those major changes. Managing smaller batches and minimum order quantities, facing higher complexity in manufacturing processes, requiring to eventually introduce new technologies such as robotics, and for sure, maintaining the quality at the top. We are only at the start of this beauty healthcare revolution, and all large and small players are watching with each other on how best to operate in this new and very large market. Double-clicking onto the convergence with high-tech, let's say technology has become the best friend of consumers and the best friend of brands in the beauty business. Why? As simple as because this is the #1 opportunity to directly connect brands and consumers to make sure that data, sentiments, feedbacks are directly captured, analyzed to deliver back the best experience of the products to the consumer. On the positive side, it can absolutely encourage loyalty within the branded beauty ecosystem. On the unknown side, as the battle for connected beauty has just started, we do not know yet if devices will continue to be branded, example like Shiseido, L'Oréal, L'Occitane, or if new players will emerge with devices that could deliver brand-agnostic product recommendation. The implications at manufacturing operations are huge. Connection to consumers means connected demand. The consequence will be an explosion of product portfolio and variability, triggering an imperative for extreme manufacturing operation agility. Finally, yet importantly, sustainability has become the non-negotiable priority of beauty and personal care companies with hyper-care of resources in the circular economy. Ingredient sourcing is a major concern for beauty brands, especially the ones focused on natural or organic products. Sustainable and environmental factors can make working with natural ingredients difficult, but it is an absolute imperative to serve the new consumers. On the other hand, the consumer is now the new regulator to enforce transparency imperative in manufacturing operations. See the example of the L'Oréal Seed Phytonutrients beauty brand that connects beauty with the farmers and the seeds for ingredients and packaging. To help beauty and personal care companies, we enable our customers with a comprehensive portfolio of solutions. To deliver those solutions, our drivers are our observations of the business goals of our customers. Serving the new consumer, the sustainability mandate, the margin pressure, the race for innovation, the supply chain volatility, and the production complexity. Our strategic solution for the beauty and personal care industry tie together the business and the people, the consumers, within the 3D Experience platform to imagine, create, and produce innovative products. DELMIA is being a major pillar of those solutions, covering all the stages of production and supply, from planning optimization down to best-in-class manufacturing operation and to logistics to the consumer, leveraging data and optimization technologies at each stage to achieve the best business process realization. The latest members of the Dassault Systèmes family close the loop in the use, the value, and advocacy of products at consumers, fueling back insightful data to the business value creation loop, on-by-me experience, Medidata for clinical trials, Proxtem for consumer sentiment analysis, and the partnership with the DELMIA CPGR Foundation. All of this targeting more value in the beauty and personal care industry for our customers, for them to deliver more value to their consumers. Speaking about beauty and personal care companies in 2020, we must mention the tremendous leadership and agility of all companies to have been very reactive to reconfigure their manufacturing operation to the extreme changes needed in the last months. As examples, L'Oréal and L'Occitane have been leveraging their operational framework at the speed of light to produce hydroalcoholic lotions. This is just another example of the need for best-in-class, consistent, and agile manufacturing operation systems that we can definitively help our customer with our DELMIA solutions. This is absolutely what DELMIA is about, helping our customers, meeting the new challenges and the opportunities ahead. All beauty and personal care brands are facing evolving, frequent, and accelerating changes that their manufacturing operations needs to manage. cope with repetitive crises and raw material volatility, seamless global and local operations, smaller minimum order quantities, just-in-time deliveries, sustainability and waste reduction, operator assurance, and health at work. DELMIA Global Manufacturing Operations Suites provide the answer to enable best-in-class consistent and agile operation to our customers. It combines a comprehensive operational framework to enable people the capability to operate globally, improve standardization, be KPI-driven, and provide all required visibility across the value chain. You will discover outstanding testimonies of our customers in the coming sessions to understand the power of the transformation we can enable with the DELMIA solutions. Let's have a short video before we conclude. Please watch the video.
How can you be sure that the things you're coloring people's lives with brings out the best in them? How can you be sure that the things you say are helping them become healthier and happier are doing exactly that? How can they be sure that you'll deliver everything you've promised, even when things change, right this instant? They need to trust that what you make has a place in their lives and in their homes every single day. There is a way to do just that, to gain that trust and always get things right every single time. Then you would be certain of the role that you play and the tools that you use in creating and delivering the formulas and products that are helping people live vibrant lives. Be sure.
As a summary and takeaway, consumers and industry in beauty and personal care are evolving very fast. The convergence with life science and high tech, seamless global and local operation, sustainability. Our purpose at Systèmes and DELMIA is really to help our customers to meeting these new challenges and opportunities ahead. Operations must continue to transform with best-in-class, standardized, agile operation. This is what we do with our DELMIA solution. The people are at the center of this transformation, the consumers and the people at work. Have a great DELMIA World Tour online. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Patrick. That was very, very insightful, and it's very interesting to see the convergence of life sciences, high tech, and beauty and personal care going into the future. It looks like it's going to be a very exciting time for manufacturers in this segment. So let's move on next to our next topic, which is My Health at Work. And this is an innovation topic, as I mentioned before, and Bruno Demange, who is our director for strategic planning, will be our presenter. Bruno, the floor is yours.
Good morning, good afternoon. This is Bruno Demange speaking. I'm a DELMIA Strategy Director, and today I would like to introduce you with a new offering from the brand, which is called DELMIA My Health at Work. I guess this innovation actually combines two innovations. On one hand, it's innovative by its purpose. We'll see that DELMIA My Health at Work is aiming at improving both industrial performance and social performance, but it's also innovative by the fact that this offering is full software as a service, as we deliver an outcome to you, dear customer, on the cloud through a subscription-based type of engagement. So let's see how it works. First of all, I'd like to remind you that in terms of health in the industry, the number one topic is the musculoskeletal disorder. Obviously, you can read some figures here and some numbers that shows how impactful musculoskeletal disorder are and still are, I would say, as they are the number one occupational disease, driving for instance, just in France to 10 million of working days lost. There's also a big economic impact, as typically, on average, the musculoskeletal disorders used to cost around 8% of total payroll for industrials. So it's very important in the budget. And the last point I wanted to mention here is what we observe is the balance between the budget dedicated to prevention versus the budget dedicated to indemnization, compensation of people that are hurt. Typically, it's 3% to 97%. And we know by experience that investing in prevention has a good ROI, like 1% return. So that's the situation as of today, what we observe in the world. And typically, what we want to do with My Health at Work is to improve that situation. And what we understood is the importance is first to bring a new solution on a collaborative platform that eased understanding of the level of risks at the industrial factories and workstation level, so that this risk exposure understanding translated into a rating on 0 to 5 star in our My Health at Work index will enable all the ecosystem to understand exactly what is the problem, what level of criticality the problem represents, and how to handle this problem. So you see, we imagine that this new score, we call that MSD index for musculoskeletal disorder index, that represent the risk exposure. If it's stored, calculated mathematically, objectively, and stored and shared within the communities and the ecosystem of health, this will create a virtuous circle where, from the left, industrial will certainly better understand the situation, better focus their investment in prevention around the musculoskeletal disorders. And so they will, on one hand, save money, and on the other hand, gain in productivity. That's key. Obviously, on the top right, the workers and the society as well would take benefits from a better mastering of this risk exposure. You may know or not know that a musculoskeletal disorder at the shoulder, first of all, it's painful for people, but generally it lasts a long time. It could mean up to 1 year of absenteeism and 1 year of suffer for people. The last partner in this overall ecosystem, they are the insurers, either public or private. Those people used to compensate the issue and the disease once it happens, but rarely they are present before helping their industrial customer in performing such a prevention action. So having this broad capabilities of collaborating around the 3D experience platform on the cloud with an index that has been calculated mathematically, objectively, that can be reproduced year after year, will help insurer to cooperate and even incentive their industrial customer to invest more and more in prevention. So you understand the principle. We want to federate and orchestrate this ecosystem of health and industry to improve that situation related to musculoskeletal disorder. So, as I said, we put in place, utilizing our software, utilizing 3D experience platform, plus our top expert in economics, we put in place an on-demand service, full cloud, to help our customer, to accompany our industrial customers to perform this initial assessment of risk exposure. Let's see how it works. Basically, we put together 3 technological breakthroughs to achieve this goal of having a health at work dashboard. The first is, you may have seen new capabilities offered by the scanners on the market. So that drastically speed up and ease the creation of a first factory virtual twin, because in almost, let's say, approximately 1 day of scan, you can obtain a cloud point representation of a factory of about 20,000 square meters. So it's first breakthrough. From that one, we put in place a second breakthrough. So after, I would say, almost 5 years of research and development, patents and so on, our ergonomics team put in place a very powerful ergonomic solution, the DELMIA ergonomic workplace design, that combines, first of all, the ability to automatically and very efficiently position the virtual mannequin according to the work instruction in front of his workstation that we modeled in 3D. And the second point is the ability to, from that posture, to deduce and to understand the risk exposure. What joint will be the most impacted? Is it the shoulder? Is it the back? And what is the level of criticality of this posture? So very rapidly, from the modeling of the workstation and the positioning of the mannequin, we are capable of creating a score, an index representing the overall criticality and risk exposure at the workstation level. The third breakthrough is obviously the 3D Experience platform and its collaborative power that enable to create, and you will see that in a few minutes, create a full experience around the dashboard that helps anyone to navigate the factory, understand where are the workstation, understand the level of risk exposure related to musculoskeletal disorder of each of those workstations, and navigate through the different production posture and understand what should be my top priority if I have to improve the situation. So let's quickly move to a demo. So I'm jumping here in the 3D Experience platform. So you recognize the platform here. We put it full screen. And as you enter in this cloud environment, the first thing you see is you recognize your factory as it has been scanned. And from there, you can, workstation per workstation, rapidly assess the situation in terms of risk exposure by putting your mouse on top of the workstation. And you can see here a first example where apparently there are some medium risks. It's a workstation, the index, musculoskeletal disorder index is 2.6, and the main risk is at the shoulder. Let's click on it. We'll see the details here. So how to read that? First of all, you have a score from 0 to 5. 5 is top score where there are almost no risks, 0 being the worst score. How we calculated this? By analyzing in this particular workstation the 240 postures, possible posture as prescribed on this workstation. And we can see that almost 25% are at low risk, 72% medium risk, and 4% present at high risk, high possibility. The joint, the most impacted area of body is probably the shoulder in that case. And we can also go to the details of what nature of person, is it small person and tall person, that is likely to be impacted by those risks. This is the one example, and obviously you can navigate in the different workstation and see the difference and the assessment that has been put. On the top right, because we did the analysis here for all workstation of this event factory, you can see the overall score, that is an average of all the score at all the workstation. Let's go a bit below to explain you how we did that. So in this drop list, basically you can select the production line you want to assess, and from the production line you can decide, okay, what exact workstation you want to see the score. In that case, we are looking at this line LC12 and PCB Prepa as a workstation. And you can see the 3D model that has been built based upon the cloud point scan of the factory. Now that we have this, we can go through the work instructions, so meaning the work as it is prescribed to the operator. And by clicking on each single of these green and yellow and red boxes, you can see the different postures of what the operator on the line is supposed to do. In case, from an ergonomic point of view, there's potential risk, it's indicated in the picture so that you can navigate posture per posture and understand and assess the situation. So, having this for every single situation, we are capable of building this risk exposure index, MSD index 3.4, and aggregate it up to the level of the factory. Okay? So those are the fundamental principle, underlying principle of My Health at Work. If I go back to the presentation, so you understand how quick it is for us now putting together those three technological breakthroughs to end up with a dashboard on the cloud accessible via SaaS offering, which brings mathematical and objective analysis and first assessment of your situation in terms of exposure to the risks. So what our existing customers are stating about this? What they like from My Health at Work is, on one hand, it's really a pure social performance impact. Why? Because being collaborative, the 3D Experience platform enable to share the result at the workstation level and at the factory level internally, so with the workers that are on the field, but also externally, potentially with your insurance company or with your public insurance, if you will, or cross-department within your factory, HR, medicine. All people can get an access to this level of detail about what is happening on the shop floor. But it helps anyone to figure out what is this current situation and what should be the next action if you want to improve. So I listed here some of the aspects related to the social performance impact of My Health at Work, the training and awareness of people, the rapid risk reduction through quick win. There are tons of examples of things that could be improved very easily, not necessarily requiring big investment. There are simple things that can be achieved. In the daily life, we used to forget that there's a problem. But it's also important in terms of responsibility, social responsibility and recruitment, where having a free of risk factory will help you ease your hiring of new candidates in your shop floor. Obviously, this My Health at Work experience also brings some industrial performance, as any single workstation will be revisited with experts, internal experts, or even external experts that may help to review sequence per sequence, posture per posture, the potential improvement that will necessarily lead to a higher performance from an industrial perspective. Last but not least, capitalization of best practices is the fundamental benefit of My Health at Work, as once you identify the right way to work, share with it and capitalize on it and continuously improve it. So, to conclude, My Health at Work is a new offering because we want to promote it as a SaaS offering on the cloud. The only thing you have to do is to open your factory and share your work instruction, and you can heritate and benefit from this dashboard, comprehensive dashboard that will enable you to share the level of risk and find the opportunities for improvement that should drive both on social performance and industrial performance. So I hope the presentation was clear. Right now I open the Q&A session. Do not hesitate to ask questions or contact your 3DS counterpart for more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruno. That was very insightful and very interesting in how we can use My Health at Work in improving worker safety and operations. I hope you all found that interesting as well. Again, don't forget to put any questions you may have around this into the Q&A panel, as we'll get to those questions at the end of this entire segment. So let me introduce our first case study, which is from Laboratories M&L, Grupo L'Occitane. Richard Vinardi, who is our speaker, is Vice President of Operations with L'Occitane, and he's going to give you an overview of what they've done in transforming their manufacturing operations in L'Occitane using DELMIA Priso, and also give you an idea of how they managed the project and some lessons learned. So let's take a listen.
First, I'm Richard Vinardi. I'm the Industrial VP of L'Occitane Group. And let's start. So L'Occitane Group, it's first a group that we represent 6 main brands, but completely focus on a natural cosmetic brand. We want to be the leading group for this category, and the chairman said that we have now 42 years that we work for well-being product. The history, it starts in 76 in Provence with L'Occitane en Provence, and we grow from international market. More new brand comes and be acquired by the group. That we have Melvita, that it's an organic brand. Herborian, what it's a Korean and French company. And now we have 2 new companies that they be created, that it's L'Occitane au Brésil and another that they call Duolab. We are on the Hong Kong exchange because the main market of the group, it's Asia, and we see after where we are in Asia. The main thing is for L'Occitane that it's a natural brand, and all the active come from the nature. So we have a lot of expertise and innovation linked to the active that we detect on the nature on each plant, and we have dedicated R&D department completely focusing for these things. To have an idea, we need 5 or 10 years of expertise to detect the best extract that we have on the plant and guarantee the quality. Moreover, we have a specificity on the group because we come from the farm to the stores. So we have a really sustainability sourcing. It's mainly linked to a main ingredient like we have for Immortel, for almond or shea butter. So we have developed a specific supply chain, local and sustainable, where we have to guarantee completely the traceability. And for these things, actually, we have 66 supply chain. And for example, we have 17,000 pickers in Burkina Faso for the sea butters. And we certified now each organic supply chain to guarantee the traceability and the quality of each ingredient. Moreover, the group is more one brand. It's really a mission that we have, and we work on 6 different things. One for respecting biodiversity, supporting the producer and mainly the farmer. We have a main action on the next few years about reducing waste and celebrating craftsmanship. And for a global social action, we work to empower women and caring for vision. So the main thing is we want to have a positive impact on the world. The key figures. For the group have now a turnover of 1.4 billion. And the main thing is we have a retail channel that we have now 3,500 stores and around 9,000 people that way works. And what you see, we have a big momentum during 20 years where we have a growth of 20% linked to the development of the group on the international point. The global activities, we are all over the world. The France represent only 7%. The main market for us is Asia and mainly in Japan, where 16% of the turnover is made. And we have 90 markets. The main things is we have a very specificity is it linked to the omni-channel distribution because we are on the retail channel with our own stores. We are on the B2B market, on the travel market, on the e-commerce market, and also on the wholesale. So all the things was linked, and we have an omni-channel distribution with 3 main distribution centers. And what you see, mainly, we are in Asia. All the products are mainly manufactured in France. So we have 2 plants on the south of the France where we have all the production of the product for the brand L'Occitane and Melvita. For the brand that we have in Brazil, we have a Brazilian manufacture plant. And in Korea, it's also the same. Now we have to present what we made on the project that we call in Laboratoire MEL. Laboratoire MEL is mainly the industrial division that they manufacture all the products for the group. And the experience was quite simple, but wholly complex, linked to the situation that we have. So first we start with a context, and after we go mainly on the phases of the project. And at the end, we have the ongoing result. So how we start? We start in 2011. At this moment, the 2 sites are completely separated. They have the same ERP, but they not use at the same level. The organization have not the same maturity, and we have really big difference, no commune department. So at this moment, we decide to create the industrial division, and we specialize the site. And at this moment, we say that we have only one SAE approach. So we decide to implement a new ERP combined with an MES LES, and it's what we call Gaia. And the decision was to put the new ERP at the same time on the 2 sites on a big bank. And we have only 2 years to implement this main change. How we can describe the situation? We decide to combine the situation with the specialization, and how we make these things. We renovate completely the plants. We implement new system. We change workshop agreement. And is it a change for the group? We have mainly a big digital growth. And now we see that we need more focus on the operational KPI. We have a situation when we make investment to guarantee the capacity that we have. And we need to reduce all the waste, all the WIP. And for these things, we not have to lose that we are really more retailer than industrial. So we have an omni-channel. We have a big seasonality because we have no summer product. And moreover, the portfolio change a lot because we are mainly driven by the window that we have on our own stores. So let's describe the macro processes that we have On the two sides, we have one part that is the making. Is it on the front? We receive the raw material, and we have to guarantee all the data that they arrive, they be put in quarantine, and they have a control and checking all the characteristics. After these things, we put on reactors, make the formula, and store it. At the other side, we have an external platform where we store all the components, the bottles, the caps, the tubes, and they be completely delivered after checking for the filling area to make all the conditioning of the product. At the end, all the product goes directly on the big main distribution center when they wait for the final control by the quality. And all the scope of the Gaia project with Apriso and DELMIA was really to see all the product on control. How we manage these project phases? We decide first to integrate completely the operational and the financial process. For each level of the organization, we want to give the real data at the good quality and transparency. And moreover, we have to support the growth with more complexity and to reinforce the quality and the traceability to guarantee the best for the customer. And the other, we know that we want to have a very short time to implement this project. So we decide to focus all the energy on the core model. And we say that we develop after the go live, the project and the system to be really adapted to the level of the organization. So how we can describe the things that you see, that we have the project Gaia for the two sites. All the data that will be collected from two sides, one from the ERP and one the other for all the machine and equipment that we have. Is it quite simple? But we covered all the domain from the receiving and the shipping of the finished good. What we decide is for the two sites, we have local server, but we have mainly one core model, and we don't want to develop specificity for each plant. So for these things, we decide to create a special project team for the two different systems, the ERP and the MES/LES. So we have 17 people on the core team, and we have around 65% that they consider that level 1 or key user 1, that they be the main owner for one processes for the two sites. And we decide when we realize that we have to take a maximum of testing time and less for design, because we accept that the design can be made after. So what you see, that we reach, we have quite 3 months on testing, and we change and make a cutover in November. The mainly things is we have 2 different integrators and 1 consulting company to train and prepare all the module for the 800 people that we have, and we decide to train each people on the plant, on each level, and after the main things, how we manage the change, how we can harmonize the things on the two sites, how they can accept to have the same process, and to stop all the paper that we have on the workshop. So let's start and see what it's the IT system before and after. So what we have the process, a weighing part, a manufacturing part, after packing, after logistic. So mainly we have a system completely dedicated for the weighing, and one over is more for the distribution. And for the manufacturing, we have nothing. So we decide to cover mainly the system via DELMIA, Apriso, and for this, we be implement completely the WMS on the system that we have with the MES. The main things it's all the purchasing, planning, financial, all the things that are beyond the ERP, and what we have on Apriso, it's all the execution manufacturing, all the support, but also logistic. So linked to this situation, we have a very specific development program. And the main thing that we have is we manage specifically all the interface. We detect immediately that each interface that we have to develop specifically was a constraint for the future for evolution, and mainly to discuss a lot of time to be adjust of these things. So we decide to have 9 business area, and for each interface that we have to create, we have a decision on the steering committee. After that, we say we create around 500 scenarios, and we have 1,030 test cases. And all the cases was made not by the key user, but really directly by the person when they use the system. So linked to this situation, what we can have, or what result we can have. First, we have no disruption during the Big Bang. We have no stops. We stop a Friday and restart on Monday on a full implementation. The things was also a good thing because the projects team transfer very quickly the project to the COC, but it's a center of excellence. It's where we have to develop the system. Mainly, after 2 months, we not make evolution linked to defect, but really make evolution linked to the business system. And moreover, all the tests that we make on traceability and quality was validated by an external company to guarantee that the traceability, the data are always at the good level and confidence. Whatever it's key lessons, we see that we have to link from the beginning the design from the MES and the ERP is not separate project. The more things is to design a core model and not be focused on the screen and on the details, because we change quite immediately the situation when we start on a workshop. Moreover, the best scenario was to test, to really manage humans during the go live, because we make a mainly test and very important scenario, but linked to these things, all the team and the support was focusing during the go live to help the person linked to the disturbance of the system and the implementation of the system. Another point is to secure the infrastructure, the IT application, because always we quite have some little disturbance linked to high volume, big data that we have to manage and to store. The other things, it's to empower the field operators. They are really the good level for tester and key user. And linked to this situation, we train all the persons that we have on the plant from each level to manage the situation with the MES. So now all the persons have the possibility to have the good data at the good timing without a system. And after, is it during the ramp up, we not change anything. We decide to fully validate the ramp up and we not change anything during 2 weeks during the ramp up. And after, clearly, they have some objective and we reach the objective and target, but also we have to put at the beginning the limitation about the expectancies. Now, take time, and it takes 7 years that we have a retex. And what we can so we have make a simplify SWOT. The big strength was the user satisfaction, end-to-end operational execution. We have no process without IT coordination and manufacturing controlling. The synchronization with the ERP was always stable, and the traceability is given. So clearly, we test each 6 months the traceability of one component, one ingredient, one finished good. And we see during 7 years what all the things was recorded and easy reachable. Moreover, we have improvement on the operational KPI. The KPI was not the target of this project, but we see that we have a direct impact on the KPI. What is the phrase actually is clearly to have some development outside the platform. So the main things after years and months, we have some person that they try to develop outside from Excel system, etc. And the main phrase is really these things, but for the moment, linked to the situation that we have, it works perfectly, and we have these things. The other point is about lean and management empowerment. With the new situation, with the new data disponibility and the new data availability, the main things, it's sometimes the management have difficulties to find their place on this situation, and really the direct management. The main opportunity is clearly with the MES. We start on execution, and now we are really stable on the controlling of the manufacturing. But now we have to manage clearly the performance on a global view. And linked to this situation, we have really and find to implement new modules on the MOM approach. And on parallel, we have to redesign some process to simplify the situation. About the weaknesses, the main things, it's about real times. Sometimes we have interface that they need to combine the situation. Moreover, linked to the organization, the visibility is not completely on the cross department. And the main things that we actually works, it's about the mobility, because actually, and for the moment, the system is on the fixed screen on the line, and we try to develop on tablets or mobile platform. What we have on learning, it's all the disturbance that we can have. It's about data and data management, and they need really to have a person to manage these critical factors. Main things, how we can secure application, infra, and processes. We see that we have more and more problem or risk linked to the cyber security. And linked to these things, we try to be sure that when we make connection with the machine, connection with the network, that will not create trouble on the system. The main learning for us is empower operators crucial. We see that all the operators accept the system easily and find really satisfaction and find the best organization link to the situation. The main difficulties that we have is the acceptance of the direct manager, because they lose the power of information, and they have now to help the operators to have support and to improve their performance. And also, we have development limit. We have not the possibility to fine-tune all the things because we want to maintain the high level of integration of the system and to be release the system as simple as it. So the main approach with laboratoire ML, it stays simple. If we detect trouble with the system or want to develop something and we find that it's difficult, is not to create a very complex system. We have more to redesign the process or to change the organization. And on the last coming years, it's what we made. When we detect really a problem, we completely redesign the process. On the ongoing result, what we see, it's we have no disruption on the manufacturing processes, no problem on availability, and it was stable. Quality and traceability and KPI monitoring, it's fully reached. The OEE increased more than 2 digits after 2 years, and we continue to improve. Waste and scrap take more time because it was not on the focusing, but they be reduced by 2 after 3 years. And the main things that they stop completely the inventory and the single counting implementation was validated by the financial department. So on the manufacturing, we have no missing component. And on the production, we have not to stop for counting. And linked to the approach that we have and the expertise that we develop, now we have the possibility to implement alone the release, and we made it in 2017 without disturbance. So it was a really good result. Thanks for your attention.
Well, that was great. Thank you very much, Richard, and I hope you all had a chance to absorb some of that. Again, if you've got questions, feel free to put those questions into the Q&A panel around L'Occitane and what they've done, and we'll try to get to those at the end of this segment. Our next case study is from Grupo Boticario, and Leandro Balena, their industrial director, will be answering some questions around their transformation, and they've put together a short video on what they've done in Grupo Boticario using DELMIA Pre-Zone. So let's take a look.
Beauty is the business of Boticario Group, which has been operating in the cosmetic industry for over 40 years. Today, it is amongst the 10 largest retailers in the country, with more than 4,000 stores and present in 35,000 alternative multi-branded points of sale in Brazil and across 15 other countries. Boticario has more than 12,000 direct employees and another 40,000 employees of their franchise network. Over the past few years, Boticario has been transforming and improving its manufacturing processes in the factories of São José dos Pinhais, Paraná, and Camaçari, Bahia, which, although in different stages of their lifetimes, are adopting Industry 4.0 technologies. The need for a mass solution manufacturing execution system had been discussed by the industrial and operations departments for some time. Boticario clearly understood the challenges it needed to solve in its manufacturing processes, and based on a multidisciplinary work, was looking for a solution that would meet the needs of their business.
Se eu pudesse fazer uma recomendação para quem está nessa mesma jornada que nós estamos no Grupo Boticario, que é a implementação de um sistema MES, eu poderia recomendar 3 pontos aí. O primeiro é que seja uma boa escolha do sistema, um sistema robusto e especialista, e por isso nós escolhemos a Dassault. O segundo ponto é que as dores que você quer resolver sejam claras, né? Que você saiba exatamente o que te incomoda, para que você faça uma boa escolha do sistema. E o terceiro ponto, e tão relevante quanto os dois primeiros, é que o time operacional esteja envolvido desde os primeiros momentos. Na hora de preparar o blueprint, na hora dos testes, na hora da própria escolha da empresa e depois, obviamente, durante toda a implementação.
Durante a avaliação da solução MES, a solução da Dassault DELMIA se mostrou a solução mais aderente. Durante a RFP, nós definimos 3 grandes critérios de avaliação. A primeira delas era a aderência, o quão aderente era a solução dos requerimentos de negócio, a usabilidade do usuário e a terceira, a arquitetura técnica. E a Dassault se mostrou uma arquitetura mais robusta, pensando na evolução futura da manufatura do Grupo Boticario.
The implementation of DELMIA Prezo on Boticario's lines brought many benefits to the operation. In addition to simplifying and centralizing various activities, the processes became more robust, reliable, and standardized.
A implementação do sistema MES foi importante para nós, para a gente colocar as pessoas num outro patamar, ou seja, tirar as tarefas que não agregam valor, né, como por exemplo a captura de dados, e a gente deixar isso como sistema. Além disso, temos também a garantia da qualidade dos produtos com rastreabilidade, que é algo que a gente não tinha sem um sistema de gestão de produção, e também pelo fato da gente ter uma solução paperless, né, ajudando na questão de sustentabilidade.
It is possible to manage and monitor all manufacturing activities, optimize quality processes, bottling of creams and gels and casing products. Information is available in real time for the entire company. The system allows us to be agile and make quick corrections, thus improving productivity processes. Notes are made automatically with accurate information. Automatic equipment setup reduces product failure, and the integration between laboratory management systems and palletizing systems supports great agility.
A interface que o DELMIA oferece para o seu usuário, ela é muito intuitiva e ela é muito amigável, o que facilitou muito na implementação. Então os operadores têm facilidade para usar, o treinamento ele acontece on the job de uma forma muito natural e essa simplificação de várias atividades que ele fazia em um único sistema permite que ele invista o tempo dele em atividades que agregam mais valor. Embora o DELMIA seja um sistema da indústria, ele tem interface com áreas como qualidade, logística, programação de produção, e nós tínhamos representantes dessas áreas desde antes do blueprint participando de todas as discussões do projeto.
Soon, Boticario will have automated all of its production lines, and its personnel will be focused on executing key tasks. This evolution will support Boticario's 3-year strategy to increase productivity and improve quality.
Great. I think that was a very inspirational video by Grupo Boticario on their deployment of DELMIA Prezo. And in this, as a follow-up here, I have Leandro Balena, who is Grupo Boticario's Industrial Director. And we're going to spend a few moments to answer some questions and expand a little bit on what you saw. So welcome, Leandro. The first question that I have for you in regards to your digital transformation is, can you tell us, just expand a little bit again on what were the primary challenges your organization was encountering in the business and the plant that prompted this transformation?
Okay, thank you. And thank you for having me here. As I told before in the video, probably the main problems that we faced in our plants concern about maybe a lot of paper in our operation, and this is a big issue because we are talking very, very often about sustainability. So have an operation paperless is
It's very important. And of course, we had maybe, for example, nowadays or before the DELMIA, we have maybe almost 40 hours to know exactly what happened in one production that are happening in this time, for example. So if I'm producing something right now, I need almost 2 days to know exactly what happened today. How many products, how many people, such problems, and this kind of thing. So these are two, maybe it's not, maybe two big problems that we face it, and I think those are two big issues that we solved with this implementation. Of course, there are a little bit different issues, as I told in the video, but I would like to take this one because it's very, very important.
I see. Okay, great. You know, I know we went through some of the trends in the industry at the beginning of the track, but I wanted to ask you specifically, you know, how do you see some of the broader trends in your industry eventually impacting production and operations, such as personalization for products or sustainability? Can you kind of expand on that and tell us?
Yes, of course. Of course, sustainability is one of the most important things that we are discussing this every day in the whole process when we are talking about how to develop some products or how to produce or how to deliver. So we are talking about sustainability and the whole process. But I would like to say here that maybe we have two buzzwords here. One of them is personalization, and the other one is segmentation. In fact, today, we use the same way to solve all of the problems. When I'm talking about production, for example, if I have two missing products and one of them is an A product in our curve and the other one is a D product, for example, not so important like the first one, we use we used to use the same way to solve both problems. And maybe nowadays this word segmentation is the most important word. It's a buzzword that we are talking in this day, in this year, and for the next year, because of course, if I have different products with different kind of importance, I need to use different ways to solve both problems. And DELMIA will help us a lot knowing what happened in that production and have the recorders and this kind of thing. So maybe personalization and segmentation are the biggest word in these days.
Okay. Well, great. I definitely think that aligns and appreciate that very much. Just one additional question, and we can finish up. But can you tell us a little bit more about what you see as the next steps in your plans on digital transformation across your operations?
Yes, of course I can. I will talk here about the production journey. We choose maybe our main hurt, I will tell like this, our main problem, that was the filling area, the packaging area. But the production journey, it's in fact 3 different parts. One of them is the production area when we produce the bulk. Before this, we have one area when we weight a lot of materials, and then of course we have the last one, the packaging area. And we choose in this moment a filling area or packaging area, and then probably, in fact, we are discussing right now what would be our next step, and we will look to production area and to weighting area when we share and when we weight our materials. So we are planning to have one big and a specific solution to the whole production journey, looking from the beginning until the end of the production journey, with one specific supplier and with one specific software that can help us to connect procedures, connect process, connect information, and we could have online all of the main information to have a better way to manage our production lines.
Wow, that's quite a vision, and we certainly appreciate it. So I want to thank you very much for giving us a view into Grupo Boticario. Such a wonderful facility to see as a part of the video, and appreciate your time in regards to some of these questions. So thank you very much. And with that, we'll move on to the next session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Thomas, and thank you for you all.
I am going to lead you through a very short session here around our solution for beauty and personal care with DELMIA. We're going to talk first, just give you a quick overview of the DELMIA offer for beauty and personal care. I'm going to then give you a little deeper look at the supply chain planning and optimization that applies for beauty and personal care segment, as well as manufacturing operations management in this area, specifically kind of highlighting some of the areas that you saw earlier in the previous customer case examples. Then we're going to do a little deep dive into 2 specific areas. One is on the warehouse management and the other is COE management. And then lastly, just to give you another picture of our lean operations management, I want to show you and talk a little bit about how that can apply in this particular industry space. So let's get started. As you know, we go to market through the virtual twin experience, and in this area, we're going to focus this particular segment mostly in the area of optimization and performance. But let's not forget, in the area of DELMIA, that we also support collaboration across, and that's kind of at the heart of all of the solutions that we're delivering for CPG. You can also model it in case if you have new plants or new applications that you're putting through, certainly leveraging process engineering to virtually validate your new processes or applications going forward into a plant. Those tools could definitely be used. We're seeing, of course, the increase of AGVs in most of facilities today, and that would be another area for you to consider. Robotics and cobots continue to grow in this particular area, and we're going to talk specifically about the global process management as well, and just remind some of the folks that may not be familiar with DELMIA and what we offer, what we can do here. You saw some of that already in the previous presentations. And then we're going to get into a little bit more detail on optimization and what we can deliver for optimization in your sales and operations planning, as well as your detailed scheduling and rescheduling primarily. And lastly, of course, at the heart of a lot of this is your manufacturing operations management, which we kind of labeled down here as perform, to help you drive performance and improve performance in your facility. All of this is connected to the edge, where we're doing a lot of work and doing additional work in supporting new IoT protocols like MQTT, CAFTA, but also continue to support the latest OPC standards as we are continuing certified with OPC UA. So let's talk about some of the ways you can optimize your business objectives through transformation using DELMIA solutions. You know, from a sales and operation planning standpoint, we can help optimize your demand and supply planning, and primarily focusing here on forecast demand, delivering right quantities in a transparent way, and reducing a lot of the excessive costs and waste that you have in a dynamic supply chain. We further go down into master planning from there, and really optimize and try to focus on reducing your lead time and inventory. And here I'm going to get into some more specific in the next few slides. Operational scheduling, this is what some of you may consider your detailed production planning and scheduling area. A lot of users today are still in the Excel mode, believe it or not. We're having a lot of discussions with companies that are moving forward and digitizing their operations to support that next level of transformation and get to a point where they can be more agile in their detailed planning and scheduling on the plant floor. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Manufacturing operations management, big broad area, including areas around warehouse, focusing on demand variability. Of course, we have production execution, quality execution, focus on all of these different areas that you can drive your business transformation. And so overall, all of this, we also support it with empowering your teams with the collaborative 3D lean tools that you might have seen earlier in our session before. So let's talk about optimizing the supply chain. Of course, we know that you have a fast changing demand. And so we're focused with DELMIA Quintig specifically and DELMIA Ortums in supporting your sales and ops planning, master production scheduling, and your operational scheduling, your detailed planning and production, which is more in the Ortum space here. For sales and ops planning, of course, we're looking at different horizons, right? You look at horizons of planning from long-term to mid-term to short-term. And you can see, of course, where we're meeting and focused on different objectives, you know, long-term forecast demands, making sure that you have strategically the production, supply, and storage lined up within your operations, and strategically are set for the long term. Versus, of course, the detailed production scheduling, where here we're looking on a daily basis in terms of operational capacity, adjusting and reprioritizing of orders and of stock or materials, and also reacting very quickly. This is where the importance of having a dynamic detailed planning and scheduling capability comes into play. So you're not looking in the rear view mirror, you're looking forward, and you're able to react before things get out of control. And of course, some of the benefits, as you can see here, include things like reduced lost sales, minimizing your inventory and OEE, etc. So as I mentioned before, there's different horizons: strategic planning, tactical, operational, and execution. And within the portfolio for CPG, and specifically for health and beauty, and also for food and beverage, We drive demand planning using DELMIA Quintig for S&OP workflow, forecast creation, and help really with these other areas of support are focused on improving your forecast accuracy. And we've worked with several customers in the past where we get kind of a range of 18 to 25% improvements, which is pretty significant. From a supply planning standpoint, we're looking also at dealing with your shelf life and some of the constraints that you might have, inventory, recipe optimization. You may have very complex recipes that are important in some of the in the cosmetics area, especially maybe a very complex set of tools that you may have to deal with to support getting the right product in place and managing those inventories. And then, of course, for master production scheduling, we're looking at company planning, even your workforce planning within that, and moving forward into detailed scheduling and even transport planning. I'm not sure how many of you are in the health and beauty area might be doing detailed for transport planning, but that's certainly an area you could look at. For detailed scheduling, the main area here is optimizing the shop floor scheduling. We do that also through DELMIA Ortums, doing sequencing optimization, your batch optimization. The goal, of course, is ensuring that you're meeting on-time delivery, but also where the real money comes is really in your inventory reductions. And so we can help you manage with that, and talk to us afterwards on how we can do that. Logistics planning, again, I'm not sure how many of you are running your own logistics, but that's another area that you can support. When we get into the manufacturing operations management, specifically for personal care, beauty products, this is a typical standard for manufacturing processes in the beauty and personal care segment, right? So you have your warehouse, your packing, your weighing and fabrication, and your production execution, and so we support all the different areas using DELMIA Parizo to drive manufacturing excellence in here. And I've just happened to call out some of the specific areas that we're affecting, right? So everything from your receiving, your inspection, being able to do the workflow from all the way through to the shipping, pack, and load. And of course, with the business process management capabilities that we have, the BPM tools within DELMIA Parizo, we're able to help you drive that workflow to deal with each of these different areas of your plant, and also be able to adjust those based on the uniqueness of your process, if you have those, and then also to help you replicate that for use across other plants. So as you can see, we cover the areas of warehouse, weighing and fabrication, and packaging. And that's what you saw very much in the previous customer examples that we played. And so just listing of some of the benefits, this is not an exhaustive list by any means, of leveraging and moving towards that modern mom approach within the operations. You can see that, of course, we're focused on minimizing production cost. You get added value in maximizing your OEE. The material coordination that is managed through the business process management, we now have material synchronization across the plant. Now here I have forklifts in here, but you can also, we've also have a lot of customers that are just doing this through the material movement across the entire spectrum here using AGVs. And that's, I'm sure a lot of you that are already either have done that or are in the process of doing that. And then also improving, your traceability and your quality control, and driving standardization, best practices using the Global Center of Excellence. So what I wanted to do is just highlight a little bit, because it's some questions we typically get about, well, what do you do in warehouse? How does that work? Because, not everybody uses our warehouse capabilities, but I wanted to just highlight one specific area here. We only have a short amount of time, so I just selected one in particular. And so from a warehouse management standpoint, this is a typical, I don't know, workflow, if you will, you know, where you can see we've developed kind of the screens and everything that you would typically see in the process that you would typically deploy for doing your warehouse management in a typical beauty and personal care. And honestly, this really applies to, you know, could apply also to food and beverage and other segments. So starting with the receiving, the putaways of inventory in the warehouse as scanned, scanning of inventory. You may ask, well, how do you support the scanning? We can support, you know, really a lot of different mobile devices. We support several different serial protocols that you would typically find in the warehouse for doing all of these processes. And then setting up your picking, packing, and kitting, weigh, dispense, shipping, and line supply, and all the way generating a report so you can do analysis of a particular batch record. And we've done some work to make this out of the box now. We have tools for warehouse management for the operators on the plant floor to help you deploy this type of capability quite rapidly. And some of the benefits, of course, that you'll see would be enhanced material synchronization, moving from push to pull, enforcing rules, and of course, increasing your on-time delivery. Now, the other area, of course, is what you saw in some of the previous customer examples, was also our global process management and COE. So a lot of you are probably familiar with this, so bear with me. But I also wanted to make sure for those of you who might be new to looking at DELMIA Priso and in the use within the beauty and personal care, where this leverage. So we take a core approach in which we balance process standardization across plants. And the goal here is to standardize, enforce best practices, and drive real-time visibility across all of those facilities. And also, we recognize there's uniqueness across those. So you can pack up the enhancements or deployments in a particular way so it meets the needs of a particular plant, and that plant can analyze its usefulness within their facility to determine if they deploy. Really depends a little bit on how you manage your operations, though. So the goal is, of course, of lowering costs and standardizing across sites. We actually have a tool. It's not just a matter of replication of the actual application, but you need a global deployment tool to manage it, and that's what we provide with our global process manager. And so as you can see here, it supports everything that would be required, such as the business process, your operation steps, the routings, the documents, the master data. And so all of this can be then monitored and centrally deployed to several plants. And you can graphically manage that, develop your own governance rules, and then centrally execute those across all the processes. And I would say any customer that is dealing with a multi-site scenario, certainly this is probably one of the most valuable things you can do to ensure that you're standardized and you can accelerate your MES or your MOM deployments rapidly so that you get the maximum return on investment as fast as possible. We also use a co-process here to help you manage the solution lifecycle and service level. So we use this process typically to provide support, work with you to do that so that you can start with creating your improvement, standardize standards, deploy those standards, help you understand what the workflow would be, the business rules for doing that, the portals, the forms required, monitoring what has been executed with dashboards, reporting, and then again, going back to the beginning stage of just blueprinting what you want to do, doing simulation testing as you create maybe enhancements to processes that you've already deployed. So quite valuable, and I highly recommend anyone that isn't using something like this already today that they begin. Okay, and so the last thing I have is just a real quick summary of some of the benefits of DELMIA enabling agility in the beauty and personal care segment. You know, we talked about several of these up front as part of the vision and trends, and we help using DELMIA, you know, help you drive your speed to time to market. Our focus is helping you increase your profitability, drive that new product introduction, increase your customer satisfaction, heavily focused in your manufacturing agility as you go from mass production to personalization, customization, changing of production methods and styles, and also driving optimization, helping you reduce inventory waste, and of course ensuring that your quality is always in line at the best. So with that, I want to thank you for listening to the segment, and we're going to next go on to our Q&A.